As we start Black History Month, we're shining the spotlight on an organization that's celebrating 100 years of service. The Wolverine Bar Association's roots date back to 1919 when African American attorneys in Detroit formed their own law club after being denied membership in white bar associations. The organization helps minority law students through its programs and community service projects. Joining me now is the president of the Wolverine Bar Association, Jerome Crawford. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Well, thanks so much, Stephen. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So 100 years. Take us back to 1919. What was going on?
Well, it seems like yesterday.
Right? You were there, of
absolutely.
course.
We know we both were. So 1919, our roots trace back to an organization, as you noted here, called the Harlan Club. And in that time, because of denials of those either interested in the law or actually Black attorneys, we formed our own bar association. In the 1930s, we changed our name to the Wolverine Bar Association. Have been in the Metro Detroit community, but the really state of Michigan at large, doing all types of work to support the community as well as our law constituency.
Yeah. So talk about what bar associations do. I think people who aren't lawyers don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, most people that hear like you're going to a bar association may assume it's a bar.
The bar.
So like you
you
spend a lot of time at the bar. So really bar associations, the way they're formed is, imagine when we're around maybe college campuses or even high school, sort of different clubs and groups people to belong to. Now, the one requirement generally is that you either are a lawyer or in some respects maybe a law student or interested in the law.
Yeah.
So the purpose is for definitely community collaboration. So within that same legal community, and then those bar associations may be affinity bar based, for instance, which means we all come from a similar background. In this context, we're all minority lawyers, namely for the most part African American lawyers and law students as well as judges.
Yeah. And what kind of activities do you provide for lawyers?
Oh, so for lawyers, we do a number of things. We again are very involved for our summer clerkship program. What that is it's a placement program to be able to put law students, namely African American minority law students,
who don't get as many opportunities,
to get them into, say, large law firms as well as into the court system by allowing them to clerk with federal judges. We also do some programming on a monthly basis for our members, which allows them to target certain key areas. We just did one last night called Financial Planning for Solo Practitioners. So we've tried to target different segments within our bar association to really provide programs of value.
Yeah, and the Barristers Ball is one of the big events that you guys have that maybe people have heard of before.
People may have heard of it. In fact, the Barristers Ball is it's our largest fundraiser of the year, and we have a gathering of approximately 1,500 folks from the legal, business, civic, political community that all come together really just to celebrate the best of Southeast Michigan. This event is a fundraiser. Again, it's geared toward our scholarships. So we have a scholarship program that we actually provide law students with scholarships on an annual basis. It also goes to fund some of our other key programs that the Wolverine Bar Foundation does, our charitable arm, such as our Pipeline program. Pipeline is something we're really excited about. This is where we actually get involved in students' lives when they're in high school. So we have one called Pretty Brown Girl. We've been working with Mumford High School for the last few years doing that, and a new exciting program we just started this year called Mighty Young Men. And the Mighty Young Men program, done with a group called SDM2, right in the Detroit community, is fantastic, allowing us to really get lawyers, even Black lawyers, involved in the lives of these young people.
Yeah, 1919, I would imagine. All of the things that stood in Black people's way in history were pretty much in place at that point.
Sure.
Save for slavery itself, it was still not a time of opportunity. Today it is, but we still see some of these barriers, I guess, that exist, and we see fewer African American kids getting opportunities than probably should.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Stephen. I wish we could say that the issues have been solved by the work of organizations like the Wolverine Bar and many others that over the years, we've definitely made progress. Right? There's definitely been some, ascension, if you will. But if you look at, say, the quote-unquote big law firms, or you look at the court system and who are the judges that people come before every single day, it's not reflective of the community. We're making progress, but we need to do more. To that end, pretty interesting story that people may have heard. Jay-Z just had a lawsuit where he actually was able to win trademark panel, and he said the entire panel of all those that were listed on the arbitration panel for complex cases, not a single Black attorney, and the American Arbitration Association. And he was able to win to then have different arbitrators appointed. And he said, look, there's no way I can get a fair judgment call on my matter without somebody that's looking like me on that panel.
Yeah. You seem like a fairly young man to be the president. Tell us a little about your background and What led you to law?
Well, thank you. It's a youthful face. I try to do my best. So what led me to the law, and I was actually reflecting on this the other day. It was really a mere 10 years ago or so that I was sitting in the shoes of many of our law students that are applying for what's called our summer clerkship program today. And here I am, having been a beneficiary of that summer clerkship program, going through the judicial externship program, having worked in a big law firm, being in-house counsel now, and I've always found a sense of obligation to pay it forward and believing that to whom much is given, much is required. So with those blessings, I've done it, to really just serve. So what got me interested in the law has always been the concept of service. So I'm an attorney by day, but I'm an actor by night, actor and a comedian. And I found this sort of merging toward the law and the concept of justice. And I've been able to really sort of mirror and pair those tools together. And then here I am now, being the president. It's really a humbling experience, so much so that I made our theme for the year servant leadership. Because I wanted to get back to the roots of what it means to actually lead is to really serve others. And we built that on 4 quick pillars, which we said, be nice. So to be noble, be innovative, be collaborative, and be empowering.
Huh. Wow. That's a pretty amazing acronym there. When you talk with young people in Michigan about the idea of being lawyers, what do they tell you about their sense of opportunity and their sense of the obligation to have service be part of what they do?
Sure. So say young people, and if I may even narrow it to say, young minority students, right? They say, I don't see anybody that looks like me. For the most part, I mean, even
you still say that
myself. I mean, I'm born and raised in Detroit. The West Side, 7 Mile and Lodge, where I grew up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still the first attorney in my family I can point to. First one to go to law school. So most of us don't have a benchmark, right? We don't have anyone to kind of compare ourselves against. We don't have anybody to call and say, hey, how do I study for these exams? So many of us are pioneers in our own right. So the encouragement I often give to students is to find mentors. Find those that are going to be, have done it before and don't reinvent the wheel, to work smarter, not harder. But I also implore them with a principle I live my own life by, and that is to lift as you climb. So as you are having doors open for you, pull somebody behind you. Make sure, as Judge Damon J. Keith often says, that we're walking on floors we did not scrub, right? And walking through doors we didn't open.
Right.
So as you go, you scrub floors and you open doors.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on 100 years.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to this spring's Barristers Ball.
Yeah, and one note I just said, Barristers Ball is going to be on April 6th at the Detroit Marriott Renaissance Center. Go to www.wolverinebar.org. All the information you need. We got some pretty exciting surprises, and only one time to celebrate the 100 years.
There you go.
Also, our theme is the Oscars this year.
Oh,
so
really?
Red carpet affair.
There you go. Excellent. All right. Well, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.